This is a KGW News Special Edition.
And hey, thanks for joining us here at 10 o'clock. I want to show you first a live picture here at Memphis, Tennessee, where the clock is just about to strike midnight. That's Central Time there. We are seconds away from the clock striking midnight. People there gathered to celebrate on Beale Street to ring in 2022. A big Happy New Year to everyone there. Now in Portland, we are still about 2 hours away from our new year, and it's going to start out very, very cold. You're taking a live look from our Wells Fargo camera down there. It's 25 degrees in downtown Portland tonight. Thanks for joining us here at 10. I'm Ashley Korslin. Let's check in with meteorologist Joe Ranieri with a look at how cold it will get tonight. Joe.
Ashley, we're going to be looking at our overnight lows in the upper teens to the low 20s. Yeah, that gives you an idea just how cold things are going to be here in the metro area. Along the east side of the state, it gets even colder than that. So as we take a live look now from our Rose City camera, temperature of 28 degrees. Now this is a reading from the Portland International Airport. Outside our studios, like you said, it's right around 25 degrees. So our temperature is going to continue to drop because we really don't have any cloud cover to help us insulate heading into the next couple of hours and for the new year. So by 10 o'clock, we'll be seeing temperatures in the mid to the upper 20s. By midnight, 26 degrees. Early tomorrow morning, we're going to be looking at a temperature of 23 degrees. So as we look at the weather headlines, a very cold start to 2022. Overnight lows, again, the upper teens to low 20s. They also give me a chance to see some freezing fog develop throughout the central and southern part of the Willamette Valley. That could be including parts of Corvallis and Eugene. And don't be surprised if there's some dense fog that starts to develop late tonight and into tomorrow. Because of that, there could be some slick roads out there, so be aware of that. Dry tomorrow, but I'm tracking some very wet conditions and breezy conditions heading into the second part of the weekend. I'll talk more about that about 15 minutes from now. Ashley, back to you.
All right, Joe, thank you. Because it is so cold tonight, Multnomah County reopened 4 emergency warming shelters. They had closed yesterday when temperatures were a bit warmer. The 4 sites are at the Oregon Convention Center, East Portland Community Center, Reynolds High School, and the Mount Scott Community Center. That's where we were tonight, and we found a lot of people taking the opportunity to warm up. Volunteers also came back to help make sure those coming in felt welcome.
That's like the main thing they complain about, is that we don't treat them as people. We just drive by, we don't acknowledge them, and it's like, you know, this is the United States. Like, come on, we all got a part.
Volunteers are still needed. You can help sign up on the county's website. TriMet, by the way, is free tonight for anyone since it's New Year's Eve, but they will always give people free rides to warming shelters. A Portland family wishes their uncle could have gotten out of the cold at this time last week. Henry Steele died of hypothermia and was found lying outside on Christmas Day.
This man was a fighter. He one, being in the military, great person, happy, always smiling, enjoyed life to the fullest.
And we got a chance to talk to Steele's niece tonight. She says her uncle, a veteran, had gone to the VA hospital in Southwest Portland for an appointment last Thursday. He was being treated for cancer and had recently been showing signs of confusion, possibly dementia. Steele was supposed to take a TriMet Lift bus home, but may have gotten on a regular bus instead. He wound up near Northeast MLK and Columbia, far from his home in Southeast Portland. Unfortunately, his body wasn't found until 2 days later. Now his niece can't help but wonder how someone didn't stop to help him.
I get it. I understand how right now with everything going on, we're so worried about everything that we're not taking 2 seconds to worry about somebody else. Those 2 seconds could have saved his life.
Christine is especially upset with the VA and says it should have done more to make sure her uncle was safe and got on board the right transportation. The VA, on the other hand, couldn't comment on this specific case, but said in a statement it does have policies in place to ensure the safety of every veteran it serves, and that includes helping veterans who may have cognitive or other challenges get reliable transportation when they leave the facility. While many are out celebrating New Year's Eve tonight, others have scaled back their plans this year. Concerns over the Omicron variant canceled at least one large event. Nearly 2 years now into the pandemic, people we talked to tonight say they are certainly tired of it all, but they're also hopeful for the year to come. Alma McCarty got some advice from experts on how to cope with COVID fatigue.
In times like these, it can be so easy to fall into despair between the rise in cases, the warnings from doctors, the losses, and the challenges. But on the last day of 2021, many in Portland are focusing on the positive.
We're moving forward, so I'm looking forward to this year.
History repeats itself. We survived the Spanish flu. We can survive this. We just have to stick it out.
Working in what I work in, I have to fight a lot of fatigue every day. Let's get vaccinated, get your booster, and wear your mask, and keep others safe. Let's take care of each other.
But it can be hard to push past pandemic fatigue if you're feeling less than cheerful or quite literally exhausted. Dr. Margaret Carey, a psychiatrist and OHA advisor, says you're not alone.
What has been so challenging about COVID has been the big ups and downs. We get a particular surge, and then we're not sure if how long we're going to be able to remain in this period of being able to relax some of our most effective public health mitigations. And then we have a new variant, and that disappointment and that uncertainty is very taxing.
In those moments of uncertainty, Dr. Carey says to focus on emotional health whenever you can. Check in with yourself and your loved ones. Rest. Make reasonable expectations.
This is not something that we need to feel alone in or be alone in. And taking care of our emotional health supports our courage, it supports our resilience, and it promotes our healing.
People are tired of this virus. They want it to be done.
Dr. Jonathan Hitzman, public health officer for Umatilla County, says healthcare workers in particular are feeling this fatigue and overall burnout.
Unfortunately, we're seeing far too many unnecessary deaths too frequently, and it's taking an emotional toll on our healthcare workers.
He's optimistic about the advances in medicine and technology, but said the number one way to help both your loved ones and the greater community is to get your vaccine and your booster.
We're going to end up learning how to live with coronavirus, and it's going to have a minimal impact eventually. We're not there yet.
Now, like the pandemic's ups and downs, Dr. Carey says your emotional well-being, your mental health might look like that too. Instead of thinking of the downtimes as a setback, think of it as a process that may help you build up your resilience over time.
Yeah, some good advice, Alma. Thank you. Analysts at OHSU expect the peak of Omicron cases to hit at the end of January. That's according to a new prediction out tonight. Now, overall, Omicron is not causing as many serious cases as previous variants, but because it's so transmissible, so many people will get it. The state will likely see a spike in hospitalizations too. OHSU researchers expect as many as 1,600 people in the hospital at the same time across the state. As more and more people use at-home COVID tests, the real number of positive results will likely be higher than what's being reported to the state. We found out Oregon does not have a system set up for you to self-report a positive result from an at-home test. Instead, the health authority says you should tell your doctor, then stay home.
Once you have a positive or a negative result, it's really up to you to know what to do with those. So we're going to also be working to make sure that our communities understand what the impact of a positive result is, and the need to isolate themselves from others so that they don't spread COVID to their friends or family. And that's really what these tests are about.
Washington does have a self-reporting process. There is a hotline set up. We have the number to that hotline in this story on KGW.com. At-home tests, meanwhile, remain hard to find, too. Oregon is trying to help by ordering 6 million test kits that will start being handed out to community organizations and local health departments next week. Well, some people who may have otherwise started the new year struggling to stay warm on the streets now have a place to get out of the cold. Stephen Redland shows us the Vancouver community helping them do it.
The recent weather has been tough for all of us, but much worse when you don't have a home of your own. It's hard surviving outside in the icy cold, especially during the holidays.
Oh, there's a Christmas tree in here.
Just days before Christmas, Michael Eddy moved into his new home here in Vancouver.
All right, let's do it, man.
Welcome to the recently opened Safe Stay community. Mike now lives in one of 20 tiny homes the city built to tackle a growing housing crisis.
Yes, adjustable even.
The heater keeps it comfortable, his stuff is secure, and he can turn on the lights to brighten the holidays.
You know, this place has saved my life, man. This place saved my life.
You know, people were able to move in just before Christmas, just before the snow hit.
Jamie Spinelli is the homeless response coordinator for the city of Vancouver. Her team has been working since May to clean up this site. They built these pallet shelters and found nearly 24 people to house. People living here can move in with their partners, personal belongings, and pets.
I'll be back. It gets cold at night. It rains a lot around here, man. And tents leak.
It's a step forward for those who want a new stable life.
They're able to say, like, wow, now I'm going to be able to go get my driver's license and go get a job and find a place to take a shower. There's all these things that I'm now going to be able to do that I was not going to be able to do being out here, you know, in the rain and the snow.
This is a springboard to everything to me. I got a safe place where I could catch my breath.
The city of Vancouver is planning on a second 20-unit location in 3 or 4 months, and a third one after that. Mike is optimistic.
Mike, great. Hey, that problem, your hands are cold, man.
Cold hands, yes, but a warm heart knowing Mike and others have a home. In Northeast Vancouver, Happy New Year, everybody.
Nice to meet you, Steve.
I'm Stephen Redland, KGW News.
Fans have been leaving flowers and messages on Betty White's star in Hollywood throughout the day. The beloved actress died today at the age of 99. Did you know that White once hosted Portland's Grand Floral Parade? Well, we dug through the KGW archive to find these photos of her. This was back in 1973. She sat alongside KGW anchor Richard Ross to describe all the colorful floats as they passed by. She was also made an honorary Royal Rosarian. We talked to some Portlanders today about how they will remember the icon.
Hilarious is the main thing, you know. I think she was just such a bright person and someone that somehow stays so young even though she's almost 100.
If anybody could live like she lived, it's really the saddest day for all of us right now because she was such an incredible person.
I think the longevity of her career is really impressive, and just the fact that she was able to do so well so late in her life is just fantastic.
She's an icon, a legend. She's everyone's mother, and everyone loves her, and it's a sad day. And
White holds a Guinness World Record for the longest TV career for a female entertainer. In her last interview with People magazine this year, she said having a sense of humor is the key to a long and happy life. She will surely be missed.